What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about how you can train for both strength and skills elements as well as mass gain. This is in relation to the Bodyweight Warrior program that I released a week ago as of recording this video. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you for the incredible response. I think we're at like 7,500 downloads or something, which is absolutely incredible. The response on Reddit was amazing. The response on YouTube was amazing. And I'm just happy that it can help out people and provide a really good starting point for free for people in this community. If you want to grab the program, you can jump into the description down below. There's a link to go and download it. I would also recommend, while you're there, joining the Facebook group. That's where I will be answering questions and queries, as well as trying to build a little bit of a community where people can share ideas and ask questions about training, and then it can get a response from a variety of people and a variety of backgrounds. Back to today's video, we're going to be talking about incorporating a program that is going to have that strength and skills element as well as the mass gain element. So basically combining two of the programs from the Bodyweight Warrior program and trying to combine the two to create the best of both worlds. What you have to understand about this approach is that it's going to involve compromise. With the skills program, we can focus on 4+ skills happily at one single time and make good progress. And with the mass gain program, we can focus on building purely mass as well as some sort of functionality, and we can make good progress. If we're combining the two, obviously there's going to be some sort of compromise. We're probably going to only be able to focus on 2 goals at one time, because we only have a limited recovery capacity, and with the added volume we're going to need to help build some mass, then that's going to offset a little bit of how much we can recover from. With everything I'm going to talk about today, there will be example workouts in the description down below to give you a little bit of a more solid foundation of how I would recommend going about this. Before we look at the 2 ways that I'm going to recommend that you go about this, let's talk about what strength training involves and what mass gain training involves. Skill training, we're going to be focusing on a high frequency, a lower rep range, longer rest periods, and quality of movement. Whereas with the mass gain, we're going to be focusing on a higher rep range. We're going to be focusing on still a little bit of frequency, but generally more volume per session on a less frequent basis. And we're going to be going for that shorter rest time to try and build up some more metabolic damage. So the first way I would recommend trying to combine these 2 programs is through a hybrid workout, I guess you could say. So this means we're going to be focusing on the more neurologically and strength taxing elements of the workout at the beginning, and then as the workout goes on, we'll be moving into more of that hypertrophy mass building work. For this, I would recommend using the mass gain program in the Bodyweight Warrior as your starting point. This means we're going to be having a legs, push, pull, repeat, rest day split. So we're going to be having twice weekly volume per kind of body group, which means we can still get some sort of frequency in there, and then we can also still get a good amount of volume to promote mass gain. For example, we're going to have 2 goals. Those goals might be the planche and the front lever. So this means that we'll be focusing on the planche on our push days and the front lever on our pull days. Because these skill elements are the most neurologically taxing, we'll be putting them as the first exercise in our workout, and we'll be going for the rep ranges that are described in the skills example. So that's going to kind of be focusing more around that 3 to 6 rep range, and maybe working it for anywhere between 3 and 5 sets. The rest periods on this will probably be longer, more like 120 to 180 seconds between sets, focusing on that quality of movement, and it will be performed on its own. After this is complete, you can kind of consider your skill and strength work complete for this workout, and then we would jump into the rest of the mass gain program, which would kind of be, off the top of my head, I think it's a vertical pushing movement and another horizontal pushing movement, more in that 8 to 12 rep range for between 2 and 4 sets, with a lower rest in between each of these exercises. The same would apply to the pull day. We'd be removing the vertical pull, and we'd be putting in our front lever work for that 2 to 5 sets of 3 to 6 reps. And then we would keep the rest of the workout the same with that higher rep range, higher intensity, more mass gain focus. So this is option 1 for you guys. It's probably going to be more focused around building mass than it is going to be around skills, but it should have a good amount of skills development in it. It is very similar to what I was doing when I was doing the Body by Rings series way back kind of a year and a half ago, which I'll link to in the description down below as an example for you guys to see. The second option that you can do is kind of a hybridization periodization. So rather than trying to hybridize on a workout basis, we're going to hybridize our mass gain and our strength elements on kind of a weekly or 2-weekly basis. I would recommend applying this to the skills program, in which we have an upper lower split. I think it would work best on that, although it probably could be applied to the previous example, but I'd recommend sticking to the skills program. What this would look like is we would keep the workouts the exact same as they are currently. However, for 2 weeks, we would be focusing on performing these exercises for somewhere between 2 to 4 sets of between 6 and 10 reps. So we're going to be looking at that higher level of rep range, more focused around hypertrophy than strength. We might reduce the rest down a little bit, maybe keeping it higher on our primary focus goals. Then after we've done that 2 weeks of kind of higher rep work, we would then switch to doing exercises for maybe 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 6 reps. So then we're going to have 2 weeks focused mainly on building strength. And then we might take a deload week, and then we'd repeat the whole cycle over and over again. So the main difference between this approach and the first approach is the first approach, we're kind of trying to have both strength and skills progression all the time throughout all of our workouts, whereas this we're going to be going through periods of strength and periods of hypertrophy work. So we'd be doing 2 weeks of hypertrophy, 2 weeks of strength, deload, 2 weeks of hypertrophy, 2 weeks of strength, deload, and repeat. As I said, guys, examples for how you can apply this will be in the description down below for further clarification, but that is kind of it. There's not a huge amount to it. Hopefully you can see how these two would marry up by looking at the program. If not, I hope this video added some clarification to that. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. As always, guys, if you have any questions, join the Facebook group and ask them on there. There is more people than myself to answer them as well, so you can get a different perspective. Or leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to answer your questions and reply to everyone. If you have a friend who might find this video useful, then please go ahead and share it. And as always, guys, if you need any further assistance or you're still unsure, then I do offer online coaching, but I can only help a limited amount of people. And grab the Bodyweight Warrior program for free. It is in the description. If you haven't already grabbed it for some bizarre reason, go ahead and download it. But that is it for this week, guys. Have a strong week and peace.